93.3 KZOZ FM San Luis Obispo. The home of Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
They have no chemistry at all.
It's Dumbass of the Day, brought to you by Peterson's U-Cart, Augusta Road, A-Town, online. Check them out for all your landscape needs. Go to Peterson, the letter U, cart.com.
How pathetic can some people be?
My dad used to drink the Hockey Night in Canada every Saturday. Like, it was a tradition. Like, if we had to go do something, we'd go to my auntie's. I was like, wasn't Dad coming? Oh, it's Hockey Night in Canada. He gets the drink to it. I was like, whoa, I want that tradition when I get married. That's what it is, too. My mom always, she gets worried. She's like, because you're always around booze and this. She's like, you better watch it, alcoholism. She goes, it's a disease. I was like, wow. That has to be the best disease out there. Like, can you imagine if you just had a wheel and you were going to get a disease, you just spin a big wheel, you're like, holy man, come on, alcoholism. Woo, right on, alcoholism. Awesome. What'd you get? Flesh-eating disease. Holy, tough one. What's the side effects of that? Eats your flesh. Oh. I'm not trading. Get out of here. Where does it say side effects? I'll tell you. Where's my... Oh, yeah. Good times. This is good.
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
So she, Francesca, she came out after dealing with her drunk neighbor the night before and noticed that she had a flat tire.
Wonder who could have done that.
There was a trail of blood leading from the flat tire to her drunk neighbor's house.
I'll show her.
We assume it happened around 10:30 last night because we had our neighbor across the street that lives next door to him heard a yell and some crying around 10:30, and then he sped off shortly after. You would think if you're going to go to the hospital, especially if you just sever your finger off, that you would take said finger with you.
She apparently came out and found a flat tire and a finger laying right next to it. You know what? You should never go around stabbing tires with knives or whatever you used when you're drunk, because you might cut your finger off.
Well, even if you cut your finger off, at that point in time, your number one concern becomes the finger and not the flat tire, right?
Unless you've had so much to drink, you just
call it a night.
You go,
screw it. I
cut myself.
Cut my finger off.
And then you wake up the next morning with no finger. She apparently...
not a neighborhood I'd like to live in.
She's talking about the finger here.
Literally been laughing all day because if I don't, I think I might cry. I don't find joy in anybody hurting themselves. However, karma has a good way of working itself out.
Yes! Yes. I would love to get a flat tire if my neighbor cut his finger off because he's a jackass. Come on. There's just redemption. Redemption.
Do you make it a point every day when you see your neighbor after that to wave at him, but wave at him with all your fingers extended as much as possible?
Both hands up. Hey!
How's it going, buddy?
Hey, Bobby!
Hey, Billy!
Bobby! Billy! Whatever, yeah. You missing a finger, you jackass?
Or wave to him, say it was the ring finger, kind of bend it down.
Or just throw hot dogs at him because they kind of look like fingers. Maybe you could, have you ever seen that done where people take hot dogs and they cut the fingernail part out and they paint it, looks like a fingernail?
That's just mean.
A finger. He was not arrested. He was not taken off to jail. She didn't press charges. She figured he paid the ultimate price. By the way, they said it was too late to sew the finger back on after it sat out in the driveway all night. I guess there's an amount of time you can do it. That was not it. So, congratulations to the drunk old guy across the street. Getting hammered, drunk, slashing a tire, and losing your finger. You are Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Don't be a dummy when it comes to your landscape supplies. Go to Peterson U-Cart on Augusta Road, just north of Quickie Car Wash in Atascadero.
We load, U-Cart, you save.
Got another shot for you to pick up that $25 to go to Pappy McGregor's or 1122 Speakeasy, brand new sponsor to the program in Know the Show. We do it at 9:40. Make sure you're with us.
Happy 420, my brother.
Oh my gosh, it's 420.
I do not know that.
You know, it's Chiba's anniversary today.
That's not how I know the day as.
I don't even know when your anniversary is. I've known you longer than I've known anybody else. Isn't that funny? Because it's on 420.
The SurfNet Communications poll question has to do with the 420 celebration now that marijuana is legal.
I prefer edibles. What is the question?
I go bigger. It's not as sexy as it was when it was taboo, or it's about the same.
Oh, good question. So you're saying, is it more of a celebration today, or less, or the same?
I think it was.
I think it's more.
I think what it amount now. See, I see it as.
See, before it was like this cult following, you know.
But that was cool.
Somebody has a cult following. Yeah, it's cool.
No, I mean, you know, like everybody's
my mom
doing marijuana.
67. She never did a drug in her life. She had a lot of back issues. I got her on the
caramels.
No. Well, she's tried to smoke it. She's tried to vape it. She tried the edibles, and she's God, poor thing. She tried the tinctures, which is the drops, the little eyedropper you put under your tongue, and whatever they mixed in with it to give it flavor or whatever. She broke out in a rash. She was allergic to it. She doesn't like to smoke it. She says the edibles don't work, but I don't think she's had there enough.
Oh, she's celebrating.
I got to get my mom high. She doesn't. She stays away from it now. She says it doesn't work. I'm like, no, it does work. You need help. That's the problem. You can go to a dispensary, and she lives in Arizona, so now it's legal. So maybe it'll get better. But you go to a dispensary, and some people know stuff, but they don't know that much. It probably depends on the
dispensaries. They do.
You need a consultant. You need a cannabis consultant.
The dispensary.
So you walk in there almost like a doctor, and you tell them what your problems are, and what kind of tolerance you have to medications, and then they help you from there. Because she had a medical card in Arizona, they couldn't help her out.
I recently spoke with somebody.
Smoked?
Spoke.
Oh, spoke.
With somebody.
He said you smoked with somebody. I'm like, really?
Close to the situation that went into Megan's, and then she just went in and said, hey, this is what I'm trying to achieve. And they said, okay, you could try this, this, or this. I mean, it was like, it's better than going into a bar because, you know, alcohol can only give you one kind of buzz, except for tequila for some reason gives other people a different
side effects. It's called a side effect, Jeff.
For you. But
idiot. But turns me into an idiot.
This is what I'm trying to achieve. I'm not sleeping very good at night. And then they're like, okay, do you do this, this, or this?
Right.
Here's some mints. Here's some pills.
Yeah, but it's more than just that. It's more than I'm just not sleeping well. It's like I can't sleep. I have a lot of back pain. I am allergic to these kind of medicines. I'm on oxy and more. I mean, people are on different things for pain. But if you try marijuana for the first time, you really need somebody who's going to sit there and talk to you. I don't know. I think that's her problem, too.
Do you try taking her to any of the dispensaries around here? Or calling up delivery service and talking to those guys?
I went into one in Grover Beach 2 years ago, and I spent $90 getting her some, I think they were pills that she could consume.
Do you know the
capsules?
Right.
And it didn't. She said it didn't do anything for her. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I spent it. It was CBDs mainly.
Oh, well, CBDs is a joke.
I mean, it was both. I think it was 2-1.
I guess CBDs do work. I don't know. But I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't know. Somebody gave me some CBD lotion.
Should
for
I take
my
her
joints
into
once and
Megan's?
It didn't do anything. Yes.
Where are they at in Slow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
look them up.
In the Sohai district, man.
Oh, that's right.
Because it's South Higuera.
Yeah, South Higuera. But I remember when that went up. It's pretty funny.
But we want to know how you are celebrating 420 today. Does it still stand out as a cool holiday, or is it now just like, oh, it's just another day because marijuana's been legalized?
805-543-3693. Those are the 805 beer lines. Live the 805 lifestyle. Go to 805beer.com. You can call or text there.
Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
You probably heard this somewhere, whether it was on social media, the news, wherever, read it somewhere. Matthew McConaughey is running for the governor of Texas.
He hasn't officially entered the race.
Well, it says right here that Matthew McConaughey has a big lead in Texas.
Yeah, in the poll, because the poll, they said, hey, if Matthew McConaughey were to run...
Oh, so he's not officially running? Okay, see, so I read this as he's going to run, but he hasn't, the election hasn't started yet.
No, he hasn't officially entered the race. There's been talks, and he said there's been talks about it, but he is
how would his name come up in a poll?
Because he has talked to... What's the Hugh Hewitt show? He was on the Hugh Hewitt show.
Okay, so he was on some...
He says he would be up to the people more than it would be for him whether or not he were to run for governor of the state of Texas. Okay. So then that got the speculation machine going, and then all of a sudden it becomes real news. Somebody else says it to somebody else says it to somebody else, and then all of a sudden Jeremy has declared that Matthew McConaughey is running for governor of the great state of Texas.
I'm sorry, from what I read, it said that he has a big lead in the poll, so I just figured that this is something he wants to do.
No.
I didn't know somebody could put me in the poll for the mayor of SLO. I could be running for the mayor of San Luis Obispo in a poll without even running?
I guess.
Okay. Or anybody. Tom, Dick, Harry, whoever.
They said that he had a...
What is wrong with people?
Big lead in this poll. But the problem with that, okay, so they asked 56% of the Republicans in the state said that they would vote for Abbott compared to 30% for McConaughey. Democrats, 66% said that they would vote for McConaughey in favor to 8 that would vote for McConaughey.
Okay.
Or Abbott, I'm sorry. Now, that's more than twice as many Democratic primary voters said they would prefer a more progressive governor than a centrist governor. Okay? So that is, they want somebody who is, the majority of Democrats in the state of Texas want a progressive. But McConaughey has come out and said that if he's going to be centrist as centrist can be, like he's going to listen to both sides, and there's going to be a lot.
You say that.
That's what he says. That's what I don't say that.
Trump said that too. And I think we felt
you get influenced by the party that you attach yourself to?
It just ends up happening. I mean, there's just, sometimes you've realized once you get in there, you can't get anything done unless you kind of give in a little. Maybe to both sides. I don't know.
He said he's called...
Bipartisanship is never
called
easy.
Republicans the extreme right and Democrats the illiberals. On a recent appearance of Good Morning Britain.
Interesting.
And he's more of a centrist when it comes to everything. Like he picks and chooses what he supports and what he doesn't, regardless of party affiliation. I don't know. Well, is that something that we need? I can't believe the words are coming out of my mouth right now. Do we need Matthew McConaughey to open our eyes to
no,
logic?
And it won't work out. I don't think it'll work out. I mean, I applaud the idea of it. I think it's great. I wish we could get more neutral people in there. I wish we could get more people that aren't tied to politics and lobbyists and all that kind of stuff in there, because, that money, it just corrupts everything. I don't know. What would you do in the state of California? What would be the first thing you would want to do if you were the governor? You ever ask yourself that question? What would be the first thing you think that would make the most sense? What could we do? I would say we're gonna separate this state into 3 sections: northern, central, and southern.
You can do that. I would probably try to figure out how to make better use of the water in the valley that just runs off of the Sierras and out into the ocean.
That would be good.
This is something that they kind of did. But then they didn't take it a step further. They stopped doing it altogether. This is something that they've done in our home state of Washington that has turned a desert into a very vibrant agricultural region by using the water that's in the Columbia River. And it's just, it's astonishing to me how you have all this water that just runs right out into the ocean and out into the Delta and goes for naught. I mean, it goes to the ocean. That's great. But, I mean, we could use a little bit, siphon off a little bit, and use it better for the ag in the valley. That's why I would do it.
805-543-3693. It's a question if you have an answer. What's the number one thing you think should be done?
The bullet train. We're not doing the bullet train?
The train to nowhere?
The train, yeah.
I don't know.
Bullet train?
I don't know.
I mean, the thing that pisses me off about it more than anything, if you knew that it was not going to be a reality, why spend all the money into the research for the
I just don't know why you would do that when you have commercial airlines that in regional airports that make their living off of flying these regional flights. Like, you don't need a bullet train.
Well, it would be nice to jump on the train in, like, say, Bakersfield, because getting a flight from Bakersfield to San Francisco is near impossible.
It is?
Yeah. There's no airport in Bakersfield, like a commercial airport.
You're telling me Bakersfield is
you have to go to
10
Fresno.
times the size of SLO.
Yeah, you have to go to Fresno.
We can go to the airport in San Luis Obispo and get multiple flights a day to go to San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't think Bakersfield has a commercial airport. If it does, it's very limited regional type action.
805-543-3693.
I might be wrong on that, though.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.